Hey guys, we're going to be starting a new topic for today. We'll be starting with 4.2.6. You've got nerve, and that will complete our 4.2 section. There will be a Google quiz on 4.2.5 and 4.2.6 this Friday. So we'll have some review. We'll talk about that, but keep your notes handy from 4.2.5. You guys have been working on that all last week, so keep that and then keep this as well. So for this activity, you will need a body organizer. I went ahead and posted one under the Google Classroom tab for you guys to use. You do need to be able to draw on it. So if you don't have a printer, you might just want to get like a loose leaf sheet of paper, notebook, whatever you have. You will be turning in something today that shows you followed along with the notes. So make sure you're writing with me as you go, and you are drawing in on some sort of body organizer. You can just trace like a body shape, that's okay too. Or if you have a printer, you can print it out, whatever you have access to. If you just want to sketch this on your notes, that works too. Okay, so you got nerve. Basically, we're going to put this all together. We've been looking at muscle contractions to see how we communicate with the nervous system and our muscles. We know neurons are packed together in wiring called nerves, as these nerves serve as a highway for electrical messages. Efferent nerves, okay, with an E, take messages from the brain to our tissues. And afferent are kind of the opposite here. They're bringing a message from the body to back to the brain, the control center. This highway of neurons is very deep in the body. We're going to be looking at the ulnar nerve. It's at the elbow, one of the few that grazes the surface. So if this nerve is knocked against the humerus, I'm sure you guys have heard of the funny bone. Sometimes you hit your elbow and you kind of get like it just feels really awkward. That is actually your ulnar nerve. You feel a familiar tingling sensation down your arm because it is pretty close to the surface. Spinal nerves are a vital part of the peripheral nervous system. They connect the central nervous system to sensory receptors, muscles, and glands in all parts of the body, depending on their points of connection with the central nervous system. Nerves fall into two categories. There's 12 pairs of cranial nerves that connect directly with the brain and bring signals to and from the head and neck. 31 pairs of spinal nerves supply the rest of the body and connect directly with the spinal cord. Nerves divide and divide with ends reaching even the body's most remote tissue. Some nerves, such as those that service the arm and hand, first converge in clusters called plexuses and then disperse to control fine motor movement. So we're going to be drawing some of these on, ideally we would be making them in clay, which disappointed we can't do that, but we're just going to have to draw them since we don't have our mannequins. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is the brachial plexus, which makes sense because it's by your brachial muscles, and it's coming from your spinal cord. Begin in your neck and provide feeling to the movement of your arms and hands. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of be like reading through these. Obviously, we'll skip stuff that talks about the clay, and we're just gonna draw them onto your mannequin. So think about how these nerves interact with the muscles of the arm, cause even the tiniest of movement. This coordination allows you to type, to play an instrument, even brush your teeth. Okay, so in this activity, we are going to be drawing it. View the muscles you have built on your arm of the mannequin. Remember that nerves usually do not travel on top of the muscle. So ideally, if we were drawing this, they would be between the muscle or below the muscle for maximum protection. So we'll go from there. Okay, so on your drawing, locate where the ulna would be. And we're going to kind of go through this as we go. So it's saying use white or bone-colored clay spaghetti strands. So if you have a white, or I guess we could just use a pencil for that as well. If you just want to use pencil whenever it says white. The other color we'll be looking at is yellow, and you do want to use a yellow color pencil, marker, crayon, whatever you have. Okay, so we're going to fold this piece into a V shape, and this will represent the nerve root that forms the lower part of the plexus. You can kind of see here, it gives you exact numbers. So again, if you're look at it from the front, because we are going to be doing like we're going to draw it as it's the front, not the back. So you'll kind of have to guess where the vertebrae would be. But these bones are referred to as C1 through C7, followed by T1 through T12. So you're going to connect the short leg of the V to the C7, and then the long leg to the T1. So it looks something like this. This is yellow color here. Okay, so make sure you're doing yellow. It has you, then what we're going to do is we're going to attach white right here. So you can use your pencil. And it's going to go under the clavicle, connect to the V string. It's going to drop down Drop the free end of the nerve down the arm. Press the nerve on the medial side of the humerus. Okay, remember medial is towards the middle. Make sure you know where the humerus is. It goes down to the medial epicondyle. That's the bump near the elbow right here. Okay, so when you're drawing it, put your yellow here, and then you will connect white, and you'll just, I guess you'll kind of show it going over the clavicle, and then have it go. You can see here, this is where it's going down. Okay, it's on the ulna side. It's going down here. Okay, and this is the nerve that we talked about. It is by the surface is your funny bone nerve. Okay, continue it down to the arm. Okay, roll pieces of spaghetti, or in this case, draw. We're all white here, so you can use your pencil. It's kind of hard to see white unless you're using like black paper. So thinner, these are going to be thinner pieces to create digital branches of the ulnar nerve. So notice it branches out 3 right here. It goes to the ring and the little fingers. Note the fingers that are fed by this nerve, okay? So that is your ulna nerve. So let's go back through that again, what it should look like. With the yellow V, make sure you're counting here. It should be C7 and T1, okay? Then you will take your pencil and go, ideally it's supposed to go behind the clavicle, show it however you can on your paper. Run it down the humerus, the medial side, so towards the body, all the way down the ulna, and then branching out into 3. And that's the ulna nerve. Okay. Below, what I would like you to do, somewhere on your notes or on the back of your drawing here or on the side, I want you to answer these 2 questions. Giving the placement of the ulnar nerve, what type of forearm muscles do you think this nerve stimulates? And then number 2, explain how the placement of the ulnar nerve is linked to the pain and discomfort you feel when you bang your funny bone. So if you can answer these 2 questions on the back or somewhere on your drawing there. Okay, let's move on to the radial nerve. If you can guess where the radius is, that's where this nerve is going to be running down. Okay, we do need to get the root just like we did before. It's very similar to a V. Again, notice we're using white here. We are going to have kind of like a 3, like a W almost that we're going to be making. Okay, now we're going to use yellow. So we have to get kind of our base here. And then we will attach this part. This is like the W that's going to connect to many pieces here. Okay, so let's start with the base here. Okay. So you're going to take a piece of yellow spaghetti, or in this case, yellow color pencil, and here's our placement. So place one end of the V in C4, which would be up here, and the other one goes to C5, okay? Then you'll see a V, and the ulnar root with the nerve attached to it right here. So this was our ulnar. This is going to be for the radial nerve, okay? We also have, let's see, oh, and this is piece C6. So C4 to C5 is the V shape, and then you should just have one single yellow piece sticking out at C6. Okay, that W you made, that or the white that we're going to connect to, each part of the W is going to connect to each one. So we have, I'll show you here. Here's the W. The first one connects to the first V, the second one connects to the one that was sticking out. The third one's going to connect where also the ulnar one was connected. Okay, so this is probably the hardest part to look at. I know it's going to be a little crammed, but I would just be very specific on your spinal cord, and if you want to put numbers next to it, that works too in your drawing. So let's go back. For the radial nerve, we added a V at C4 and C5, then you should have one yellow branch sticking out at C6. Then using your pencil or a white color pencil, if you can get that, you're going to have one attached to the first V, one attached to the one sticking out, and the third one attached here going down. Okay, so it's going to go down. Let's see where we're going here. It's going to wrap dorsally, move it dorsal, so it's behind here. So again, you won't really see that on your drawing if we're looking front. You can just have it pop out here. But it's moving dorsally and it wraps around the humerus from the back to the front. So you do want this here. You can start it, up at the top, have it connected, and then you will see it pop back out here. Okay. It will move downward towards the remember, this is the antecubital region. It stays on the medial side of the radius, about 1/4 down, so it goes like this. Now where this one was dorsal, this one does wrap to the back again. Okay, take it over the radius and have it travel along on the dorsal side. So now it's in the back. Again, this is all we're going to see here for the dorsal. Okay, upon reaching the wrist. So what I want you guys to do is draw a separate picture, like this here, maybe on the side, like just zoom in. This is on the front, which we can't see in the main picture. So you can just have like a little box to the side, and notice it's branching on all of the fingers. Okay, so upon branch the nerve to the tips of each digit on the dorsal side. Okay, so that is the front that we're seeing there. So notice it kind of goes back, and then on that side it's branching to all the fingers. So we won't be able to see it on this. So please do like a different little text box on your drawing and show it going to all the front parts. Okay. Also, you're going to use some to wire up the triceps, which again, we won't be able to see. So do another separate drawing here. The triceps are on the back, so show the muscle and then show it branching to 2, 3. Branch 3 tiny strands from the radial nerve into the muscle. So I want a separate sketch next to your radius. Okay, and then we are going to answer these questions here. Number 1, draw an arm and trace in the placement of the ulnar and radial nerves. You may need multiple views. Okay, so that we kind of already did that. Don't worry about doing that again. You should have 2 separate pictures that I talked about. Given the placement of the radial nerve, what type of muscle do you think this nerve stimulates? So you can answer that one. 3, what do you think would happen to a person's ability to use his or her arm if the radial nerve were damaged? Okay. Few minutes here. See if we have time to get through this. Carpal tunnel syndrome. I'm sure you guys have heard of that before. Too much stress on a muscle can weaken the tendons and expose nerves or inflame tissue. The radial nerve you built on your mannequin is the largest nerve of the brachial plexus and supplies electrical stimulation to all the extensors in the arm. But what about the flexors? A repetitive motion injury you most likely have heard of is carpal tunnel. What muscles of the arm are affected in this condition? The extensors or the flexors? Okay. So let's see what we want to do here. Go ahead and do 33. Take notes on the anatomy of the condition, the causes of the injury, identify the nerves that are affected in carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, using what you've learned about building in the nerves in the first part of the activity. Okay, we're not going to build it since we're getting kind of close on time here. Video only does 15 minutes, and that's about how much I want you guys to do here anyways. But I do want you to research carpal tunnel syndrome. If you want to, it does have you sketch it. If you want to add a sketch, you can, because you might be responsible for carpal tunnel syndrome on your quiz on Friday. That is up to you, but you do need to take 33 PLTW notes and then 36 PLTW notes as well, okay? So what are you going to turn in? I'll post this on the classroom, but I need your sketches and any PLTW notes we took today. And just take pictures of it and upload it to Google Classroom. And if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, see you guys later.